Now, we're in Nvidia at the beginning of August of this year at 107 when the devastating information story broke about the delay, the one that Nvidia couldn't respond to, a hopeless pinata reviled by the short sellers and allegedly by the customers, although I couldn't find a single one who was truly aggrieved. Given the newfound trading proclivity, I have to wonder how many people had the armor of the dog Nvidia and how many had it wear off. It wore off. If it wore off, you forgot the amazing thing about Nvidia, which is that it has really no competitors. Now, here we go again. Maybe Nvidia mentions the information delay story on Wednesday conference call. Maybe we'll mention Michael Dell's shipment of Iraq Blackwell, suggesting, I think it suggests that they'll still have the opportunity to ship these chips in volume in January, which is what I've been led to expect. However, the trading obsession might have shaken you out today, especially because you couldn't hear a response from Nvidia because of the information to the story during the quiet period. But let me ask you, what if Blackwell really is delayed until January? Will that mean big wins for the people who paid beaucoup bucks to buy competitor AMD up for today? We own AMD for our charitable trust, like it very much. We own it right along with Nvidia, and we know it doesn't have product that's as good as Blackwell. If I weren't so against trading, I guess maybe I would have sold AMD up 5 and then buy it back lower when the erroneous data is washed out of the stock. I didn't do that. I don't play that game. Maybe you think Nvidia's customers are all hopping mad and willing to hold back money. That would be wrong, too. They have nowhere else to go for this kind of chip. So what then is this story about from the information? Is it much ado about nothing? Well, not if you work at the information. The information's job is to sell subscriptions. It's a noble goal. I did it for years. This story likely did that in spades for them. And Nvidia actually reports a shortfall. The new subscription will be endless. After all, if Jensen Huang starts out by saying, you know what, we blew it, the servers can't handle the heat, and Colette Kress, the CFO, quantifies all that business as loss and all the upset clients, then the information may have gotten a huge scoop. Maybe this time really is the top, and it's all because of the server meltdowns. But the bottom line, I actually am more inclined to think that you're getting a buying opportunity in Nvidia thanks to the information publishing a story that may simply not be that unless you didn't know all that much and you parted with Nvidia as soon as the news came out.
Nvidia Corporation has done it yet again, smashing through financial expectations with a record-breaking $35.1 billion in quarterly sales. This exciting milestone isn't just about impressive numbers. It reflects the sweeping influence of Nvidia in the rapidly advancing world of artificial intelligence. At the center of this achievement is CEO Jensen Huang, who has managed to capture the industry's attention, not just for hitting targets, but for painting a vibrant picture of the future. During an AI summit in Japan, Huang announced a groundbreaking partnership with SoftBank, hinting at the transformative potential of their collaboration. As investors and tech enthusiasts await additional updates, one can't help but wonder, what does Nvidia's sky-high performance mean for the rest of us? Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
Let's talk a little Nvidia. Far from a sinister situation, but the stock is going to be under some pressure.
Okay, let's go there. You want to go there?
Publication of the information, the company has asked suppliers to change the design of the server racks for its new Blackwell AI chips. They've been overheating, or at least more so than had been anticipated. Reports says word of the repeated design changes has sparked customer worries that it's going to take a little while, and therefore there may be some delays. Michael Dell, though, came out favorably.
Yeah, Michael Dell's the real installer. Michael Dell is saying, listen, we're installing it. Now, we don't have Supermicro. Obviously, they've got their own issues. HP, E.
But they say they're installing it for CoreWeave, and it's working fine. But, 72 GPUs per.
Well, it's very hot. I mean, look, I had Rich Tobin from Dover on Friday, and Dover makes the cooling system.
Right.
Said it's not a problem. They do think ultimately it's going to have to be cryogenic. They've got that too. But David, I want to talk about the journalism business. Okay, if you wanted to create a very negative story about Nvidia, and you wanted to make it so they couldn't respond, would you pick a few days before they report in order to break that story?
I don't know. I'm not necessarily going to say you would.
No, it was a totally rhetorical question. It was the way I could get the point across. That was what it was about. I'm saying that this was a devastating piece to write because NVIDIA can't respond because they're in quiet.
Quiet period?
Yeah. And that's why I felt that Michael Dell, who, by the way, there's a speech, there's a big speech today at this Atlanta conference of supercomputers. Michael Dell's basically saying, look, don't worry about this. Now,
Who's giving the big speech today? Sorry.
Jensen.
Oh, Jensen
Yeah,
is
Jensen's
giving a
got a
speech.
speech.
So
But Michael should
quiet
be
period,
talking.
but he can still talk.
No, well, he can speak in general about
Yes.
the company. He can't address the information's hit job.
Rarely have I seen a chief executive talk more than Jensen does.
Well, he has a lot to say.
Clearly.
Most of us don't have as much to say as
I
Jensen.
listened to a podcast that he was on this weekend, actually. And
How was it?
it was great. I understood about 50% of what he was
That's
discussing.
50% more than I thought you would.
Yeah.
But, Carl, I'm just saying that, if you want... I read this story and I said, oh, my God, this is the second time we've seen something from the information in a similar time frame. Now, I don't know the publication. I know that we have Ms. Lesson on. I don't know the public. I mean, I was never involved with the publication, but I read...
I think they do good work.
I think that they can do good
They have
work.
some good
I'm
people.
just saying,
I've relied on them to a certain extent. I thought they did some good work on talking about Elon Musk's data center in Memphis, for example, that helped me sort of understand when I reported on Friday about the latest capital raise for XAI.
I think that's terrific. And I do think also that when you put this piece out, you're also cognizant that there's no response from NVIDIA, which makes it seem like, therefore, it's right. And all I'm saying is that if you want to sell it on this piece of information, look how you sold. If you sold
Jim,
the previous piece of information, you got crushed.
What does that even... there's no other competitor to the Blackwell, right? You got to buy Blackwell.
Well, okay, so
what does it matter? Even if the piece is 100% correct, ultimately, what is the difference?
He's right. He's right. And that's what people are doing, is selling it. Now, I don't necessarily know how good the quarter's going to be. I do know that that Jensen Huang told me that this thing runs hot. There are issues when it runs this hot. One of the things that is important is that it has to be liquid cooled. Now, the article made it sound like if it's air cooled, it won't work. But anybody who knows these Blackwells knows they are liquid cooled. That's what Supermicro came on when they were still talking. They told me that. That's what Tobin from Dover, who makes the technology for liquid cooled, Michael Dell has said liquid cooled. So let's just stop acting like this is a crisis. And I will go so far as to say my trust owns AMD. AMD is up 4 points on this. That is not a reason to own AMD.
You really don't like some of these easy narratives, either on the upside with Tesla or the downside on Nvidia today. You think the picture's a lot muddier.
Yes, I do. And I think it's important that we respect our viewers and tell them, look, this is not necessarily the way the story's going to play out.
Nvidia's rise in the stock market can be compared to a tech fairy tale, one in which every chapter unfolds a new facet of innovation. Since its inception, Nvidia has evolved from merely a graphics processing unit leader to a formidable entity at the forefront of AI and machine learning. This strategic pivot hasn't just fueled technological development, it has also catapulted its stock, reflecting both market demand and investor confidence. But it's not all just high-tech wizardry. There's also a touch of humor. After all, who would have thought an advanced AI chip could one day cost as much as a small car? Despite some fluctuations, Nvidia's stock, much like a roller coaster, has excited investors eager for the next big leap. Much of Nvidia's success lies in its groundbreaking AI platforms. During a fireside chat at an AI summit, Jensen Huang and SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son traded jabs about missed acquisition opportunities, providing light relief amidst serious discussions. Huang announced the joint venture with SoftBank to create Japan's largest AI factory, an unprecedented move that underscores Nvidia's capabilities. This AI infrastructure aims to transform telecommunications into a sprawling network of 200,000 sites loaded with Nvidia's DGX AI technology. It's nothing short of revolutionary, offering a glimpse into a world where AI doesn't just support, but transforms industries ranging from customer service to autonomous transportation. But before we go any further, if you want to keep up with Nvidia's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates.
Obviously, NVIDIA is going to play a big role in that. Earnings Wednesday, obviously. Stock's up 13.5% over the last 3 months. We could debate how high the bar is, but we don't have to because Christina Partsinevelos is with us here. It's great to see you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Right, I mean, what do you think about the bar this time going in? It's always high. And then we have some issues around some of the Blackwell chips we can get to in a minute. But how are you thinking about this in your own mind for somebody who knows the space really well?
Well, think of just what happened last quarter in Q2. The bar was high. They hit the numbers, but they didn't hit the whisper side, so buy side. And then you saw the stock sell off. So that could be the case again because the magnitude of the beats is diminishing, and that's the problem. We have these high expectations going into it, and to your point, you bring up Blackwell, which is the latest iteration of their GPU, the one that is really going to drive future growth, and there's so much riding on that particular chip. How big is the ramp going to be? When are we going to see the billions and billions of dollars of revenues? Is that going to be, starting into this quarter, leading into early next year, or is there going to be delays? And that leads to, I guess, your point, Scott, about a report today, right? From the information saying that the Blackwell...
They're overheating, apparently?
Yeah, so there's 72 of these chips that go into a rack with some CPUs, and they're working through it. NVIDIA is downplaying it so far. They put out a statement saying that this is, quote, normal and expected, and then maybe it's damage control, but you also had Michael Dell, a customer, tweet out yesterday that the Blackwell chips are shipping and that he is excited. They are thrilled. That's a quote from his tweet. CoreWeave put out a statement as well. And I'd like to preface, though, that this issue right now that the information is talking about is about overheating. I know in August you guys talked about it. There was the problems with TSMC and delays over there, but NVIDIA is saying that was just, fixing the yields. And these are two different issues. But I'm sure on the call we're going to hear a lot about how this is not going to create delays because we're buying into this future growth coming from Blackwell.
As such initiatives unfold, NVIDIA isn't just setting the pace for others in the tech world. It's rewriting the rules entirely. Analysts say this could be just the beginning, as NVIDIA CFO Colette Kress revealed the deployment of Blackwell DGX engineering samples to OpenAI, marking critical progress. For a company that defies expectations quarter after quarter, NVIDIA assures investors there's plenty left in the pipeline with its ever-growing AI collaborations. Whether you're a tech aficionado or simply enjoy watching stock prices soar, NVIDIA's strategic moves are turning heads globally. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Yeah, well, the market's not making, Joe, a big assumption that it's going to lead to huge delays, because if that were the case, the stock would be off more than what it is now, which looks like 1 3/4%.
I'm not defending the company, Christina, but isn't it rather commonplace that, and NVIDIA talked about this, they're so complex, the GB2000, so you need the co-engineering with the customer for integration. You can't expect that you're going to have full integration for all clients. Isn't that more commonplace?
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they said. The rest of that statement was just they're working with the cloud service providers, and because you're not just taking one particular chip and sticking it in, you have the 72, which is in the name, you have the 36 CPUs as well, you have all of the, simply put, the connectors. So when they're launching a new chip that is higher memory, more power, they're saying there's going to be some issues. They're still working through the kinks, but it shouldn't create a massive delay. And to your point, it seems like the analysts covering the stock are saying the same. However, the stock has really sold off since early August when that first, the rumors of the delay. And Mizuho, for example, was saying that maybe this is just a lot of tourists that have entered the name because it's been all over the headlines. They don't understand the fundamentals. And every time you see a negative headline, they sell off.
When you should worry about delays is when there's competitors who come in and fill that time gap that you're losing out on. That's not the issue here. They have the most advanced chip. There's nobody out there who can take their place in the supply chain with customers. So if it doesn't happen this quarter, I'm with you. It doesn't matter what the quarter is. The point is that not this quarter, the next quarter.
All right. Are you considering emerging tech stocks? Perhaps NVIDIA should be at the top of your list. With AI innovations rapidly reshaping various sectors, NVIDIA stands as a powerful testament to growth potential. While the stock market can be unpredictable, NVIDIA's consistent performance and ambitious plans make for a compelling investment case. Despite recent volatility, the long-term outlook for NVIDIA seems promising, especially with their ongoing projects like the AI network in partnership with SoftBank. NVIDIA's journey is only just beginning. According to financial pundits and tech experts, the company's commitment to AI and innovation continues to position it as a market leader. So, what's your take on NVIDIA's meteoric rise? Are you ready to dive into this burgeoning tech marvel, or do you see rough tides ahead? Regardless of where you stand, there's no denying the pivotal role NVIDIA plays in today's digital landscape and the exciting potential of its future. And finally, if you would like to know what companies like NVIDIA have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.